What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nosebleeds section. This is Tyrell from the Nosebleeds, and today we are talking about Week 15. Can't believe it. 4 games left of the 2025 NFL season. Big news and big things to talk about. Phillip Rivers, is he going to be back in the NFL playing this Sunday? We will see. We will find out. Also, thank you all for watching last week's video. Thank you for watching the Saturday night's main event wrestling video. Please hit that like button. Please share. Please comment. Please subscribe. Do all that. We had 107 subscribers. Would definitely love more subscribers. So thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. As I have mentioned, we're on StreamYard now. I'm not paying $44 a month right now. Call me what you want to call me. So that little watermark powered by StreamYard is going to be up there for a hot minute. But nonetheless, we are here and we are ready to go for week 15. Like I said, 4 games left. Not doing power rankings anymore just because we had that 1 month hiatus, and there's just no point in doing power rankings with a hiatus that long. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with Atlanta traveling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, tough loss against the New Orleans Saints. The Buccaneers are 7-6. The Carolina Panthers are 7-6. So two 7-6 teams um, are fighting for the NFC South position. Atlanta is going to try to come in and play spoiler for that. New Orleans played spoiler last week against Tampa. Can Atlanta do the same thing? I believe Atlanta's on a 2-game losing streak right now. That's not really much of a streak. I thought they were on a larger streak, but Kirk Cousins is going to get the nod once again. Baker Mayfield gets the nod for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time these two teams faced off against each other was week 1, where Tampa won 23-20. Atlanta is 18th in offense, 18th in defense. Tampa's 22nd in defense, 21st in offense. Tampa averages about 23 points per game. They give up 25 a game. Atlanta averages 19 and they give up 24 a game. I expect Tampa to come out here and play with a sense of urgency. This is a team that had kind of somewhat full control of the division just to turn around and pretty much squander it. And now they have to share this division hold um, with the Carolina Panthers. And they definitely don't want to have another team in their division play spoiler, because especially considering the fact that the Carolina Panthers beat the Atlanta Falcons not once but twice. So that has to be in the back of their minds as well, is that they cannot afford to split with the Atlanta Falcons, especially with Carolina beating the Atlanta Falcons twice. If you look at the remaining schedule for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have Atlanta this Thursday on Amazon Prime, and then they play Carolina 2 out of the next 3 weeks. They close against Carolina in week 16 and week 18, and these 2 games could be for the division. But they have to take care of business against the Atlanta Falcons first. And I think they will take care of business against the Atlanta Falcons by a final score of 27-21. I think this is going to be a close game, especially with Atlanta just trying to just go out there and play with pride and also play a little bit of spoiler. Atlanta's conference record is or not well, their conference record is 3-5, but the division record is 1-3. So I'm pretty sure they don't want to go into a situation where they have a losing record in the division. We know they got swept by the Carolina Panthers, and I believe they split with the New Orleans Saints. So they would like to let me double check that to make sure I'm giving you guys the right information on that. Let's see, their only division, because I know they got swept. Yeah, they lost to Tampa, they lost to Carolina twice, and then they beat New Orleans, and then they played New Orleans one more time on week 18. So they would like to at least get this win, split with Tampa. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Like I said, 27-21, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Next up, we got the Cleveland Browns going against the Bears, the Chicago Bears. They're coming off of a tough loss against the Green Bay Packers. They lost their temporary hold on the NFC North division and their hold that they had on the NFC conference in general. So they have an urgency to get back in that position. The Browns are walking in at 3-10. Shador Sanders is going to be starting his fourth game on onto the year. He has been named officially the official starter for the Cleveland Browns for the remainder of the year. Last time these two teams faced off against each other, the Cleveland Browns won 20-17 back in December 17th of 2023. So it's been about 2 years since they played against each other. The Browns have the second best defense in the league, but the 30th ranked offense. Bears with the 26th ranked defense, but the seventh best offense in the league. The Bears are also the second best run team in the league, and the Browns are the 13th best run team and run defense in the league. And I think that ranking dropped for them because of that strong showing by Tony Pollard. And I think I expect the Bears to kind of attack the Browns in that regard because Tennessee exposed a lot. Of the Browns running game. Not to mention the Browns is not the best defense on the road. On top of that, so I think that plays into a factor as well. On top of Chicago fighting for it, not only for seeding, not only for playoff positioning, but they're fighting for the division. So they cannot afford to lose this game, especially when we can get down to a potential tiebreaker. I know even despite the fact that the Packers do have that one tie, they will love to have that bragging rights of the fact that the Bears are the ones that beat the Cleveland Browns and not the other way around, and he suffered the same fate that the Green Bay Packers suffered when they lost to the Cleveland Browns 13-10. So they will get that edge as well. Um, and Joku's questionable. Dylan Sampson is questionable. That's the injuries for the Cleveland Browns. The Bears are 7.5 point favorites for you betters out there, and give me the Bears to cover that. I think Shador will have a solid game. If anybody that's expecting Shador to have the game that he had last week, I don't think that's going to happen. And just because he doesn't have a game like that does not mean that he's regressing or anything like that. I think people are very quick to judge Shador, which I can be hypocritical with that take because I have already judged and determined what type of quarterback Dylan Gabriel is being. But sometimes you just know right off the bat that sometimes when guys have something, you want to give them more chances to prove that they have that. And I think he will have a solid game. He gives the Browns the best chance to win. So if the Browns are, again, I don't think the Browns are tanking. I don't even think management is tanking. I just think like it's just bad coaching. Like the coaching has to go. But yeah, give me the Chicago Bears to win 27-13 over the Cleveland Browns. Next, we got the Washington Communist Party against the New York Giants. The Washington Communist Party is on an 8-game losing streak versus the New York Giants, who are on a 7-game losing streak. So it is literally the resistible force versus the movable object in this game. And Jaden Daniels has already been questioned out of the game against the New York Giants. So Mariota is going to get the start, from my understanding. Prayers out to Zach Ertz. We know that he tore his ACL last week off that brutal hit. Who knows, that might be his career, and I would hope that Zach Ertz comes back and play next year, just so that won't be his final moment on the football field. But we will see. He's also like 35, 36 years old. So we'll see about that. Washington 20th offense, third worst, third worst defense against the second worst defense in the New York Giants, but the 12th best offense in the league. They both average about the same points per game. Washington 20, New York 21, and they give up about the same points amount of game. 27 for the Washington Communist Party and 28 points given up per game for the New York Giants. Washington beat them 21-6, but it wasn't an easy 21-6 by any stretch of the imagination in that Week 1 contest, and that was with a healthy Washington Commanders team. Now this team is battered, broken, bruised, and on an 8-game lose streak. So give me the New York Giants with the win at a final score of 31. Do I want to give the Giants 31 points? You know what? Yeah, let's give the Giants 31 and let's give Washington 20. So I think New York will win 31-20. Next, we got the Las Vegas Raiders going against the one-winged Philadelphia Eagles. Last time these two teams played against each other was 4 years ago, where Las Vegas won 33-22. Las Vegas on a 7-game lose streak, but the Fly Eagles Fly are have gotten clipped at the wing because they are on a 3-game losing streak as of now. Geno Smith is doubtful, which means Kenny Kitten Mittens Pickens is going to probably get the start, which means Super Bowl winning quarterback Kenny Pickens is going to get the start, and it could be a quiet revenge game. Um, the Raiders have the second worst offense in the league, the 14th ranked defense. Philadelphia has the 21st ranked defense and the 24th ranked offense. This is a Philadelphia team that can run very well last year. They don't have that whatsoever. This offense is very stagnant. They average 22 points per game. They better be glad they're playing against a team that averages 15 points per game. And the Raiders give up 25 points per game. The Eagles give up 21 points per game. I expect this game to be a low scoring slop fest. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles to snap a 3-game losing streak against the Las Vegas Raiders. This is a perfect time for them to play against the Las Vegas Raiders. It really, really is. So give me the Eagles. Let's see with the Eagles are even the Eagles are 11.5 point favorites. Like that's crazy. Like they're 11.5 point favorites. So yeah, Jalen Carter's questionable with a shoulder, but I have not seen that. Let me go ahead and check that to see if he is going to be playing. No news about whether he's going to play or not against the Raiders. So give me the Philadelphia Eagles to blow out the Raiders, which is crazy because they haven't really blown out anybody, or it feels like they haven't blown out anybody. But this is a bad Raiders team. So give me the Philadelphia Eagles with a blowout victory of 35-7 over the Las Vegas Raiders. Next, we got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Baltimore Ravens. Thanksgiving Day, 32-14 blowout victory for the Cincinnati Bengals. Last time these two teams faced off against each other. Trey Hendrickson is out for the season. T. Higgins is questionable in the concussion protocol. As of right now, he had a limited role in practice today. Baltimore 16th ranked offense, Cincinnati 22nd ranked defense. Cincinnati with the worst defense in the league. Baltimore 23rd ranked defense in the league. Baltimore's on a 2-game losing streak. Tough loss to get for the Cincinnati Bengals. But Cincinnati is still in the division. As crazy as it seems, and if they sweep, if they can just win out, and Baltimore starts to, falter, and who knows what's going to happen with Pittsburgh. The slimmest chance that the Cincinnati Bengals win this division, but they're not out of it. They are not out of it. They have the slimmest chance, but they're not out of it. Give me Baltimore to win this game, though. Baltimore usually plays Cincinnati very good in Cincinnati, no matter what time of year it is. I mean, Baltimore's 2.5 point favorites, but I'm gonna stick with Baltimore for this one. Baltimore averages 24 points per game, and so does Cincinnati. Baltimore also gives up 24 points per game. Cincinnati gives up 31 a game, and I think that trend continues. Give me Cincinnati with a score of 26. Give me Baltimore with a score of 31. So I say 31-26 Baltimore. I know Baltimore scored 14 points, but Baltimore usually plays their opponents pretty well that second time around. The Arizona Cardinals versus the Houston Texans. We're not going to get much into that. Houston has the best defense in the league. Houston has not lost a game. Matter of fact, their last loss was against the Denver Broncos back in week 9. And ever since that comeback against the Jacksonville Jaguars, this has been the best, if not the best team, one of the best teams in the league. They beat Jacksonville. They've beaten the Colts. They've beaten the Buffalo Bills. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. They're beating quality teams. They're playing against a a bad coach, injury riddle Arizona Cardinals team. Give me Houston for the win at a final score. I think Houston puts up 42 on them. 42. I think Houston just. I could be wrong. I mean, these are predictions and previews. This is just a prediction, but give me Houston with a 42 point, you know, shutout. Give me Houston on a 42-point shutout. Look what they've been doing. Look what Houston's defense been doing. I'm sold on. I am sold on Houston's defense. So yes, give me Houston for the win, 42-0. Next we got the Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots. That Sunday night football game last time they faced each other. This is a big game against the New England Patriots. If Buffalo loses this game, this is New England's division. New England clinches the division. Nobody can have a better record than them. They sweep Buffalo. Buffalo can't have a better record than them. Because I think the worst New England could do at that point is 12-5. And if they sweep Buffalo don't even have the tiebreaker over them. Buffalo's second best offense. They're a white hot team right now. New England's a white hot team. But I think Buffalo learned a lot from that first game against the New England Patriots. I expect this game to be very, very close. 28 points per game for 29 points per game, really, for the Buffalo Bills. New England averages 27. Um, they also New England also gives up 18 points per game. Buffalo gives up 22 points per game. This was a very, very strong competitive game. And Stephon Diggs always has a tough game or plays very, very well against the Buffalo Bills. It's like he just takes all his frustration out. And I think that continues, but I think Buffalo, with a lot of desperation, the division on the line, and they would like to try to they've been trying to catch up to the New England Patriots, right? So give me Buffalo slight win. I think the score would be the same, but instead of New England winning it, I think Buffalo wins it 23-20. I think this is going to be the game of the week, to be honest with you. There's going to be a lot of intensity. There is a lot on the line in this game. Division titles, seeding for the first place, because we know New England fell out of the first place because they lost to the Las Vegas Raiders in week 1. And Denver swept the Raiders. So therefore, Denver is at the 1 seed right now. You know, New England want that 1 seed. New England is rested coming off the bye week, but I think Buffalo is well more motivated, and they beat a tough Cincinnati team that gave them that Cincinnati gave them everything that they got. So yes, give me the Buffalo Bills 23-20. All right, next we got the New York Jets versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jets want to play spoiler. And the last time these two teams faced off against each other was last year, December 15th. New York won 32-25. New York gives up 26 points per game. Jacksonville gives up 20 a game, which New York also averages 20 points per game, and Jacksonville averages 25 a game. New York 27th ranked offense, 16th ranked defense. Jacksonville 11th ranked offense. 11th ranked defense, 17th ranked offense. Justin Fields is reportedly out. They said he did not get dressed up for practice. I believe that Tyrod Taylor also did not practice as well. So as of now, from my understanding, and I'm looking this up as we're going here, who the starting quarterback for the Jets is going to potentially be, and that is Brady Cook. Brady Cook got all first team reps today. This is recorded on Wednesday night. This will get released 12 o'clock in the afternoon, at noon tomorrow or Thursday. So as of this recording, Brady Cook got all first team reps. He is, let's see about him. He went to the University of Missouri. I believe he's a rookie. Yeah, he's a rookie. I guess he's played some games. Let's look at his game log here. Played against Miami, so he came in for relief against the Miami Dolphins. Went 14-30 for 163 yards and 2 interceptions. Got sacked 6 times. So there's not a lot of film on him per se. And we've seen this before where like these backup quarterbacks, whether it's a rookie or not, come in and just like shock the world against a team that's supposed to put belt to ass on them. And something's telling me that's going to be the case in this game. I think Aaron Glenn is going to have him as prepared as possible. He wasn't prepared against the Dolphins, obviously. I mean, they had Tyrod Taylor, and he was supposed to just be there because, hey, you don't want to put the punter out there at quarterback. But I think this week, with the lack of film that Jacksonville has, the pressure that Jacksonville has with um, Houston barking at their heels, like literally barking at their heels, give me the New York Jets for the upset by a final score of 21-20. Give me the New York Jets on the upset. Then we got the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Los Angeles Chargers. They played in Brazil week 1, where the Chargers played a masterful game. It really was, if you really think about it, that it was a preview. It was a preview of what this entire Kansas City team is all about this year. I'm gonna go on a tangent about what I think is going on. Okay, with the Kansas City Chiefs. What I think is going on with Kansas City is that people are going to point out, well, they don't have the black voodoo magic, and I've said that before, and the referees are not there to help them out or anything like that. This is a team that is getting older, obviously. They are getting older on the coaching staff. They're getting older on the field. And this is a team that has not missed an AFC championship game they haven't missed a AFC championship game since 2018. Like ever since Patrick Mahomes took over. No, they made it in 2018, since 2017. They've had 8 years of at least going to the AFC championship game. And 3 straight Super Bowl appearances. Now, when you have that type of, yes, are we fatigued of the Kansas City Chiefs? Yes. But we have to admit that this is an extremely dominant run. Like, I don't even recall the Patriots going to this many AFC championship games for this many consecutive years. And the Chiefs have played in all but one Super Bowl in this decade alone. Like the only standalone is the Rams and the Bengals, right? But they played Tampa in the Super Bowl. They played the Eagles twice in the Super Bowl. They played San Francisco in the Super Bowl. We're talking about this decade alone, right? At some point, with a shorter offseason than your counterparts, right? Some point, your body got to start breaking down, man. And your mentality has to start breaking down. And they really kind of went through this last year, but they were still winning games. And a lot of people did notice that, like, man, this team is not good, but man, they were still winning games. And that's where all the black voodoo magic things started coming up and everything like that. But like I said, when you look at a team that has had this much of a dominant run, and you think of all the practices and the practices and the team meetings and the traveling and, you know, staying in the hotels and all this other stuff, and you're doing it not where most teams stop at the beginning of January, not where a lot of teams stop in the middle of January, but you're doing this through February, right? Because now the Super Bowl is not the first Sunday of February, it's the second Sunday of February. So you're doing this to the middle of February, and you got what, maybe a month and a half? You got about 6 weeks off before voluntary overtime. I mean, voluntary, well, I guess it's overtime because you're working extra, but you have voluntary workouts, and then you have mini camps, and you have OTAs, and then next thing you know, you got training camp. And this is never ending cycle, right? Of having like a bare minimum of 6 weeks, maybe 7, that you're going to have off before you're back in the building working your ass off. That's not including guys doing things freelancing on their own, whether they're freelancing, working out, throwing the football, whatever it may be, right? So this has been going on for almost 10 years, which is crazy to say about one franchise doing this for this long, and it is now finally what the fatigue, the mental fatigue, the physical fatigue is being shown to the point where they were overcoming it last year. They're not overcoming it now. They're not overcoming it no more. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Travis Kelce, it might be time for you to retire. As great of a tight end that you are a top 5 tight end of all time. Do y'all hear that? Because I hear the Gap Band playing. Outstanding. Make me want to shout. Yeah, I hear it. It's very muffled, but I hear the Gap Band playing. All right. And I just think that when you're going through all of this, obviously none of us get younger. We don't have a time machine to go backwards. This wear and tear, this mental wear and tear, this physical wear and tear catches up to these guys. And I'm surprised it took this long. Right? And this is going to happen to transition to another sport. This is going to happen to the Dodgers. You having a shorter offseason on a consistent basis like the Dodgers are, like all the winning, all the greatness that you're achieving, like, yes, it's great. Can't deny it whatsoever. But like, it's gonna come back and bite you in the ass. Somewhere you're gonna pay the price. And that's what's happening with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're paying the price on the field, they're paying the price on the coaching staff, and they also don't have as strong of a defense as they used to have in years past. So you got all of that. Plus, everybody has finally, like, even with the most innovative, dominant teams that come around, when you do a lot of winning, there's a lot of film on you. And there are a lot of people that not only is hungry to stop your dominance, because every single one of these teams are playing more hungry and more eager to knock down the Kansas City Chiefs. But there's more film on you. And when there's more film on you, there's more opportunities for teams to come back and to clean up the areas or to just straight up figure your shit out. And over the last 2 years, this has happened. Last year, it was talked about, but they were still winning. It was like, how in the hell are they still winning? But now they're not winning. Who had the Kansas City Chiefs having a worse record than the Carolina Panthers? I don't think a lot of people had that. It would have been crazy. Matter of fact, I had the Kansas City Chiefs going 11-6. Go look at the AFC West preview show. I'll put that little title card up there somewhere, or is it like over here, something like that? It'll show up. But I that's what I think is going on. On top of them not having as talented of a team, and a lot of people figuring out that, and this is what I've seen a lot too this year. Keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. I've been saying this privately for years. Like, every time I watch Mahomes, I'm like, if y'all just find a way to keep this motherfucker in the pocket, like, he's going to struggle. Like, he's one of the rare quarterbacks that needs a shit ton of room, that needs a lot of room to operate fully. Like, the longer he dibbling, dabbling, scrabbling, and doing this and doing that and rolling out to the left and rolling out to the right and all this other stuff, the longer he do that, that's when people get open. And he just whoop, doo-doo. Or if he does stand in the pocket, it's like, bam, ball is out. Right? But if he trying to do beep 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 in the pocket, he don't like being in the pocket. He don't like when the pocket closes up. He'll climb up every once in a while, but he don't like the pocket. He don't like staying in that pocket for too long. So I think teams have finally figured out, man, just send guys and contain the edges, and everything else will fall into play. I've never seen Patrick Mahomes play like this. And I think a lot of teams have figured it out. And this is like as crazy as it sounds, and what a lot of people don't want to hear is that if Kansas City, which is a very high probability now, especially if they lose against the Chargers, they need to win out to even have a shot, right? If Kansas City misses the playoffs, it'd probably be the best thing for them because everybody would get the rest. They have not rested in 8 years. Um, I don't even think I gave a prediction for this, but yeah, give me the Chargers to win. I don't have a score for that. I just think I needed to talk about that Kansas City stuff real quick. Let's see. Okay, the Indianapolis Colts traveled to the Seattle Seahawks. Last time these two teams faced off against each other was back in 4 years ago, where Seattle won 28-16. The Colts are on a 3-game losing streak on All Ground Sport. I hit the woo before the fraud alert before Daniel Jones went down. We are sending prayers to Daniel Jones. Like, and I have to say this about Daniel Jones too. Um, here's a guy that had a lot of adversity in New York, a lot of things thrown his way. It's New York media, and doesn't live up to the contract that they signed him. Doesn't live up to the expectations that was bestowed upon him. So, he gets cut. He gets cut and comes to Indianapolis. Let's be real here. Not a lot of people saw this season. Not a lot of people, I'm not going to say anybody, but not a lot of people saw this season. Not a lot of people saw Daniel Jones playing like this, where there were MVP conversations earlier in the season. Not a lot of people saw this coming. And you see a guy that's like trying to redeem himself, busting his ass. Teammates are behind him 110% all the way there. And is, as people say, like, oh, well, the Giants got to the playoffs because of Saquon Barkley. And that's true. They weren't saying that about this. They were saying, yeah, Jonathan Taylor was having his game, man. Jonathan Taylor was having his season, right? But like Daniel Jones was doing his part too. Like he wasn't relying on the running game. He was commanding the entire team. So when you see a guy go down with the Achilles injury like that, you feel for him. Especially a guy that's like being described as been described as a good person and everything, that you feel for Daniel Jones. And yeah, it's just tough. It's just tough to see when you see somebody just working their asses off and they're trying to get their lives back together, and something unfortunate out of their control happens. You feel bad for that person. So definitely prayers out to Daniel Jones. Riley Leonard had full practice today. We know about Phillip Rivers signing there. Phillip Rivers gets activated to the roster. He's a semi-finalist to go into the Hall of Fame this year. I don't think nobody had Phillip Rivers on the Colts in 2025 as a player on their bingo card. If Phillip Rivers gets activated to the main roster and not the practice squad, his timer restarts. So yeah, it's insane. It's insane to me. But as of now, they're saying that Riley Leonard is to be determined. But if he got full practice, he's probably going to end up starting. Colts 5th ranked offense, 25th ranked defense. Seattle 9th ranked offense, 7th ranked defense. Seattle averages 30 points per game. Colts average 29 points per game. Seattle gives up 17 points per game. Colts give up 22 points per game. For Riley Leonard, Notre Dame alumni, love Riley Leonard, tough, gritty kid. But he doesn't have the best arm. And to be honest with you, this is not a defense you want to make your first NFL start on. So give me Seattle with a blowout win of like 35 to like 10 or something like that. Tennessee versus San Francisco. Give me San Francisco. We're not going to review that whatsoever or preview that. Give me San Francisco. Let's see. Last time they faced off against each other was what? 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. Tennessee won 20-17, but Tennessee, they beat the Browns. They got a lot of confidence, but worst ranked offense, 27 ranked defense. They gave up 27 points per game. Yeah, give me San Francisco on this game right here. The blowout victory. As you know what? I'm not gonna say blowout. Tennessee's an underrated defense, and they just get it together. Um, but yeah, San Francisco wins by at least 10 points, 31-21. San Francisco. Green Bay Packers versus Denver Broncos, another huge game. Both teams playoff implications here for their respective conferences. Last time these two teams faced off against each other was 2 years ago, where Denver won 19-17. Green Bay fourth ranked defense, Denver fifth ranked defense. These two teams statistically, look at this. Listen to this. 14th ranked offense for Green Bay Packers, 15th ranked defense for the Denver Broncos. These two teams are very similar to each other. Even passing yards per game ranking. Green Bay 12th, Denver 13th. These are two evenly matched teams. This is probably one of the more evenly matched teams on paper. And I think even Vegas got it like that. It's pretty much a pick 'em game. Green Bay's 2.5 point favorites. Give me Green Bay mile high, going in there, getting the dub to keep the Bears off their backs by a final score of 27-24 game-winning field goal. The Carolina Panthers play against the New Orleans Saints. We know that the New Orleans Saints got one of their wins off of Carolina, that 17-7 win back in November. But Carolina is fighting for a playoff spot, and they don't want to be like Tampa. Where what we describe with Tampa is that Carolina swept Atlanta, but Tampa split with New Orleans, and Carolina doesn't want to get swept by New Orleans, because if they both lose, then I believe that they both lose. They're 2-1 in the division, but with Tampa having that win, if they was to both lose, Tampa would have that tiebreaker, and they don't want that to come into factor at all. So I think Carolina's going to come out more motivated and have learned a lot of things. 15th ranked offense, New Orleans 12th ranked defense. Carolina had the 15th ranked defense, excuse me. Carolina has the 23rd ranked offense, and New Orleans has the 26th ranked defense. J.C. Horn is questionable with a concussion. He had limited participation. Let's see. Kamara is still not practicing, so Kamara will probably not play. Bryce Young, look at this. 18 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 2,300 yards. Give me Carolina for the win by a final score of 24-17. I think 24-17 is a good spot for them. All right, we got the Detroit Lions versus the Los Angeles Rams. Why is this not the Sunday night game? Why was this not flexing to the Sunday night game? We got Dallas and Minnesota in the Sunday night game. Like they just love glazing the fuck out of Dallas. Detroit 8-5, the Rams 10-3. Detroit's fighting for a lot right here, and usually Detroit has their number for some reason. Ever since the trade, I think the Rams beat them like maybe once, and Detroit's on the outskirts looking in. They're on the outside looking in, so they need a huge win here. And I think they will get the win over the Los Angeles Rams by a final score of 24-20. Let's say 24-23. I think a game-winning touchdown seals the deal for the Detroit Lions. Dallas and Minnesota, who gives a fuck about this game? Besides Dallas and Minnesota, let's keep it a buck here. Minnesota's 5-8, Dallas 6-1. This is pretty much draft position the way the NFC is shaping up to be. Last time they faced off against each other, Dallas put belt to ass on them 3 years ago, 40-3. Last time the Rams and the Lions faced off against each other, Detroit won 26-20 back in week 1 of last year. Give me Dallas to win this game. JJ is going to be starting. Dak Prescott should be throwing the football all over this defense, especially. He should. I know Minnesota has the 4th ranked passing defense and the 9th ranked overall defense. But Dallas is literally the best offense in the league, especially when it comes to passing. They're literally the best offense in the league. Then we got Pittsburgh and Miami, and this is shocking because this has some playoff implications as well, depending on how the AFC North goes. Because Pittsburgh 7-6, they have the first place in the North, but if they lose this game, Baltimore wins their game. They still get the tiebreaker, but they still have to play Baltimore one more time. And not to mention, like, they also play Cleveland. And if they lose to Cleveland, which they've lost 4 out of the last 5 in Cleveland, um, Baltimore, let's say Baltimore wins their next two, whatever the case may be, right? If Pittsburgh ends up in a wild card position with the same record with Miami and things shape out the way it's kind of shaping out, this could have some playoff implications to it. It's very slim, but it does. Dolphins 6-7. They're 5-1 over the last 6 games. And I was just talking to y'all, saw Dre on the TNA show, and y'all see him occasionally here doing the previews and stuff like that. And I was talking to him privately, and it dawned on me that the Dolphins got belt to ass by the Cleveland Browns, and it woke them the fuck up. Like, it woke them up. Like, they were like, okay, we just got embarrassed by the Browns. The Browns looked better than us. Oh, hell no. This team is 5-1 since that Browns loss. So this could have some implication. This is a bigger Monday night game, especially depending on how everything shapes out to be on Sunday. HN is questionable, but he did practice today. Actually, no, there is no report. Sorry. They say it could be to be determined, but I didn't see anything else. Dotson is questionable with a hamstring injury. No news on if he practiced or not. DK Metcalf is questionable with a stomach injury, but is likely on track to play this Monday against the Miami Dolphins. This is also Minkah Fitzpatrick's revenge game, as he got traded. He started with the Dolphins, got traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then they turned around and traded his ass back to the Miami Dolphins. Last time these two teams played against each other, Miami won 16-10. That was about 3 years ago. Miami's 20 ranked defense, Pittsburgh's 28th ranked defense. Miami 25th ranked offense, Pittsburgh 29th ranked offense. Pittsburgh averages 24 a game, Miami averages 22 a game, and they give up 22 a game, and Pittsburgh gives up 24 a game. With Miami streaking, 4-game win streak, Pittsburgh is an up and down team. Miami has a lot to fight for. They have a lot of momentum on their hand. Give me the Miami Dolphins for the win with a final score of 20. Let's go 28 Pittsburgh. Let's go 34 Miami Dolphins. I think this will be a bit of a high scoring, which is crazy because they're at the bottom in offense, but something telling me that. But you know what? No, I'm gonna change my mind on that, because a lot of times they play low scoring games when they play against each other. Give me Miami to still win, but subtract the points by 10 for each. So give me Pittsburgh 18 and give me Miami 24. So that is it. Week 15 predictions and previews is done. Let's just talk about the standings that we know right now for the playoffs. Denver has the 1 seed thanks to that tiebreaker with the Las Vegas Raiders over New England at 11-2. New England is 11-2 as well as the 2 seed. Jacksonville 9-4 and Pittsburgh 7-6. Your division leaders. The wild card: the Chargers, Buffalo Bills, and the Houston Texans. Chargers and Buffalo Bills are 9-4. The Houston Texans are 8-5, but Houston is right there on the tail, on the heels of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Buffalo Bills could be knocked out of the division play with the loss against the New England Patriots, but if they win, they have a chance to still win the division. On the outskirts, looking at in the hunt, your top 3 teams, or in this case would be 4, is the Indianapolis Colts at 8-5 because they lost to the Houston Texans. The Baltimore Ravens at 6-7, Kansas City at 6-7, and the Miami Dolphins, after that belt to ass by the Cleveland Browns, who would have thought that? In the hunt, like I said, Monday night could be implications at 6-7. AFC side, thanks to the Bears losing to the Green Bay Packers and the Rams putting belt to ass on the Arizona Cardinals, they reclaimed their spot as the 1 seed at 10-3. The Green Bay Packers will have the 2 seed at 9-3-1. In Philadelphia has the 3 seed at 8-5. Tampa right now has a tiebreaker over the Carolina Panthers at 7-6. I think that's because they beat New Orleans and Carolina did not. Wild card, Seattle is 10-3 as well. The reason why they don't have the tiebreaker over the Rams because they lost to the Rams. San Francisco and Chicago are 9-4 respectively. Outskirts looking in 8-5. Detroit Lions 7-6. Carolina Panthers and the Dallas Cowboys are 6-6 as a 6-6-1, excuse me, as well. So those are your teams that are right now at this very moment that are in the playoffs, that are just on the outskirts and in the playoffs. A lot could potentially change this week. What is going to happen? Only one way to find out is to watch the games. And what's going to happen with the Cleveland Browns? One way to find out is watch the game. Then tune in right here for the live for the live review of the Cleveland Browns. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can get an opportunity to check that live feed out as well, because we are back to being live for the Browns games every single week. And we're going to talk about that and go through the scores around the league. So you want the scores, you want content, you want fresh opinions, you want different opinions on the NFL throughout the week and everything like that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the channel right here. And come on, man, we need more people. We need to expand the nosebleed section. We're at 107 subscribers, which is amazing. Again, like I said, we're on StreamYard now, so I do my videos on StreamYard now. That's why there's little duckies here. I'm not about to pay $44 right now to remove a duck. Anyway, this is Tyrell from the Nosebleed. Thank you all for coming into the Nosebleed section. Week 15 is going to be exciting. It's going to be some crazy games. It's going to be some crazy playoff implications. And you know that we are going to be right here reviewing every single bit of the action. Until next time, signing off.